Well, and Christy, the timing. I mean, there's various states that are passing laws, and I think Texas is now getting into that mix where high school athletes will be able to profit off of NIL at that level. What are your thoughts, especially given you just said there's a lot of lack of education out there, and now you're about to just throw on to people like, hey, now your high school kid can start making this money before they even get to college. Like, what are the how do you feel about that? Like, what are the upsides? Obviously, the money, but obviously, there's downsides that can come with that as well if we don't execute this properly.
Yeah, there are definitely some concerns when we're talking about athletes that are under 18. They're not able to sign their own contracts. Their parents are signing their contracts for them. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. That's on kind of a case by case basis. But, for example, one thing I wrote about in the book and that I sort of learned was there was a story of a couple of professional athletes who, when they had been teenagers and were excelling in their sport, and I think one of them was European and so had not been subject to NIL rules here, and another one was in a sport outside of the NCAA pipeline, and their parents had signed these contracts on their behalf. And one of them, the parent owned trademarks for the athlete's name. He's now grown and is an NBA player, and he doesn't even own his own name. His mother owns it, and she's actually been preventing him from some of the monetization he's wanted to do. So not that every parent out there would be like that, but there are some issues at that level because you're talking about, I said a 12-year-old is doing deals. We've got 15, 16, 17-year-olds doing deals. And even if they're not being taken advantage of, they don't necessarily always understand what they're agreeing to do. I don't think that means they shouldn't be able to do it, but I do think it means we need more education at that level.